And now I am social media-ing it up. All right. So, welcome back to Voices in the Wilderness.
Music yet?
When we last left our heroes, they had from a what looked like a waypoint location built by the Archmage, discovered their biggest clue into what could be the vault of the what could be to find their way to the vault of the Archmage yet. And then they also recruited old Karai, who was betrayed by many of her bandit group into their own employ.
I suppose she could be a... No, maybe not.
Oh, I'm here now.
Yeah. And then, after that, they decided to return to the settlement.
Yes.
To the settlement.
To rest. And
Oh, hey, this settlement got some renovations while we were gone.
Yes!
Oh, did they fix things up? Oh, cool! Okay.
Alright. So, first thing first, we are at a brand new session, so we are going to roll for our icon die.
Okay.
Yay! I get to roll horribly.
Also,
as is tradition.
if somebody could sound check for me.
Yeah, it works okay. I had it up on my TV for a second,
Okay.
but then it crashed horrendously, so...
Alright, so voices are through, you guys can be heard, and music can be heard.
Yep, I heard all of those, and I got the initial woo.
Good. Good.
Really? I don't think I got anything.
Roll. You can't
Six and a 5.
What? How do you guys making... What is this?
They've been
How you guys doing that? What is that?
Yeah, they did some fanciness.
What is all that?
They've been using their roll 20
Rolling.
spreadsheet magic.
Stuff wants it.
You want how I do.
Alright, so nothing from... And... Who are we
Hang on.
missing?
Me.
Ha! Did I do too? Did it work?
So... I'm rolling the same as everyone else, right?
Yes, you are rolling 3d6.
Thank you.
We have the worst luck with actually getting icon die in play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're...
No.
What's your last one?
My last...
Your last icon relationship.
I don't think I've ever had a nice roll for icon relationship.
I think I did one.
I sure as hell haven't.
I've
Okay.
a couple times.
It might be because in order to get a positive, you only have a 1 in 6 chance
Well, you have a 2 in 6 chance to get something.
to get something.
They're all good.
I suppose that's true.
They are essentially a die that says you can make things happen.
This is true.
Alright, and while
My
I'm
point is that's still only 33%.
while I am catching people up, hey,
What? What is this?
there should be 2 things up. So you might have
Kill
to
it
move
with
things.
fire.
Alright.
Oh, wow!
Oh, reading
That's so
things.
cute!
So yeah, this is pretty much everything that potentially could happen. So we're going to do a quick review of things that went down in the settlement before, essentially while you guys were away. As you pretty much dedicated people to pretty much to recruit more people to the settlement, as well as to build static defenses. Right now, pretty much surrounding the town as you return, you can see that there's pretty much an outer palisade, there's some more sturdy-looking stone and wooden watchtowers. You can see the settle-in of the town guard, which I couldn't remember what Kristoff called them, so they just got called the Duster Patrol.
Fantastic.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they call themselves.
Yeah. As well as some of the Crusader specialists, but there's definitely fewer Crusader specialists than there were before.
Dan, that's a noble attempt at an overhead shot of an anvil.
Thank you.
I love how police the town is down twice, but once it's in quotes.
Well, there's
You have to police the town and police the town.
All right. You also, as you walk through, have noticed that the black market, the market has expanded. However, since it expanded mostly due to brokering you did in the Thieves' Town, it's more of a black market than a town market.
Hey, all colors are beautiful.
I'm very glad you guys went to
More
the
of a
Thieves'
shade
Town.
than a color.
The Heart's Desire is pretty much how you left it. But it is now not the only structure in this particular area, as with your defenses you also built a proper blacksmithy.
Cool.
Yay, Mort!
Once again, pretty much as a review, the named NPCs you have recruited are, of course, the ones that the town came with. Cyril Hermanthazel, your bureaucrat and ever-exasperated organizer. Reyes Regis, your captain of the guard. Arlondo, the renegade Okbi Grand Magus. Since that is a custom race, Okbis are like tiny puffin men. Nyman Wei, the pretty much orc archer, warrior, traveling merchant. Ziz Belfar, your goblin merchant. William Goodporridge, also known as the Hawk. Ziz's merchant partner, but also a contact with the Thieves Guild. Atlas, she is a giant merchant robot who sells strange magical devices. You coaxed her to return to the town in the Thieves' Town. And of course, Mort Finescale. Now, actually, the Soul Town blacksmith, though he does have a few helpers, as the Stone Stouts were only under contract to stick around until the town had a properly trained blacksmith. Mort, since going, has spent most of his time with either Arlondo or recently Atlas, so he actually has more of a knowledge of magical items than he started with, and in fact the entire town started with. And then
Is he still done with the Newfoundland accent though?
It's kind of a weird combination of a Newfoundland accent and a Northern Ontario accent. He says bud more than buy. And then, of course, Stargazer Elfrats, a Warford astronomancer, who was one of the first people you met in your journey. Alright. And when you return to the town, Templeton, who was whisked away by the by the multifaceted, mysterious dark elf Io, has returned to the town as well. He does do this a little bit after you've returned, so you get the feeling some time has passed. Templeton, what's happened?
Alright, so what happened was Io had sent Templeton to retrieve an Orcan artifact from a eccentric nobleman in a town that was occupied by a force with a marshal that really hated orcs and was looking for some excuses for war. So Templeton had to go into the city and get that artifact without starting a war. Suffice to say, it was difficult. So basically, what happened is Templeton had to put a team together.
Shit.
What did you do?
I screwed up. Everybody just got to see my desktop there, thanks to a weird crash. Alright.
As long as it wasn't full of porn.
Alright, Templeton, continue. Sorry about that.
Alright, so Templeton put together a crew of old associates. The associates consist of Dr. Gabriel Greysword, who's a elf, Otis Fangborn, who's a half-orc, and Porkpie, who's a seagull.
Who is a what?
He's a seagull.
He's a seagull. Like
a seagull.
Okay, like a literal seagull, not like not like a anthropomorphic seagull, but a literal seagull.
Well, the deal with Porkpie is that Porkpie used to be a druid, but much in the way of the Animorphs, he stayed as a seagull for too long.
Animorph rules are rough.
And now thus he must live his life as a seagull. But he still retains portions of his druid transformation abilities. They're just like kind of limited to some certain things, and it requires a lot more concentration, and he is a seagull now.
Alright.
Alright, so Templeton, goes to various locales of the world and retrieves these people. Gabriel Greysword wears a long white lab duster and has the irony that he's an empath, like he can sense everyone's emotions around him, however cannot express any emotion himself. And Otis Fangborn is a half-orc that was chopped to pieces in a recent battle of some kind, and by recent I mean, within the last 2-3 years. And he was rebuilt by Gabriel into this kind of like half-robot, half-orc. So now he's a half-robot, half-orc. And he still retains his orcish rage, and he's very large. So after retrieving these people, Templeton, puts down a parchment on the table and explains what the master plan is, which is 3 steps. One is get to River's End, which is spelt like River's End, but with no punctuation or spacing. And so it could be either River's End or River's Send. And the reason for that is because the town suffers from a strange geographical phenomenon where the river flows both up and down river at the same time.
Okay.
And which is just more kind of irrelevant right now, but I don't know.
Alright, I'm going to ask you.
Yep.
Could you, just for your traveling around, could I get a charisma roll?
Sure.
You will benefit from being level 4.
Cool.
So, charisma, background, and level.
With that, I'm going to use Thieves Guild Recruiter, probably. So
yeah, I don't even think you have to explain that one.
So, plus my charisma roll, which I believe is 4.
Alright, you successfully find everyone that you're looking for, but you have the feeling that one of them isn't quite completely sold on your leadership.
Alright.
You can
Pork
choose which
pie.
one.
Pork pie is not sold on the leadership.
The seagull. Okay.
All right, so Templeton slaps a piece of parchment on the table, and like it says 3 steps: 1, get to River's End; 2, get the orc thing; 3, keep the KD ratio pretty one-sided. And that's the steps. So what happens in effect of that, and like once those actually put into practice, are you get to the city, and in order for Pork Pie to actually use his abilities now, he needs to study the thing that he's trying to transform into for a little bit of time. So Templeton uses the plan to goes in under a false identity, pretending to be some long-lost noble, and rents a room at the local inn for them to use for as a staging ground. And while they're there, Pork Pie flies around the city following the marshal around.
Alright. Another charisma roll for passing yourself off as a noble.
Hang on, my MacBook sucks. It's it's crashing as I try to do the roll macro. Oh, I have it. Is it working? There we go. Either one of those will do, I guess.
You have successfully blended in. People think you are well off. Some computer trouble, eh?
Yeah, hang on a second. I think we're good. Alright, so passed off as a noble, and then Pork Pie does his thing in town. He studies the marshal for a while, and during that kind of studying portion of the plan, Templeton and Gabriel, all the while Otis isn't allowed to leave the room because he's a half-orc, and he just looks like a big giant metal half-orc. So he just wears a cloak and stays inside. And they try to figure out a way to get into the mansion where this eccentric noble is carrying this orc artifact. And they figured that there's a fancy dinner party on the weekend. So they need to try to procure some tickets for that. So Templeton ends up trying to win some in a card game.
Alright, how are you attempting to win the card game?
Oh, cheating like crazy, obviously.
Alright. Dexterity roll.
So my dex roll, I'm using Con Man for this one, so that ups that ante a little bit. 14.
You win the tickets, but you've gathered suspicion. Pretty much, drunkenly another noble, but who's kind of known for being a little bit down on his luck, catches you, but nobody really believes him since, you know, he's not got a good reputation, he's absolutely hammered, but he will be at the dinner party.
Mm-hmm. All right, so after get the tickets, the great night comes along where everyone has to go to this fancy dinner party, and Templeton as Lord Bartholomew P. Mustard Bread.
Mustard bread.
Yep.
Were you ever in the army?
No.
So he could be a colonel?
Yeah. Yes.
No, he's he's an entrepreneur. So Lord Bartholomew P. Mustard Bread and his elfin acquaintance Rick, which is Gabriel's moniker.
Okay.
Simply Rick. Attend the dinner party and they end up meeting the old eccentric noble, and Templeton wasn't sure what to think about him at first, but has decided that the noble isn't really at fault for procuring this Orcan artifact, and that the marshal was really the one who had everything to do with kind of was just looking for an excuse, so he put the artifact there in hopes to antagonize the orcs, but the noble guy just is like an old fogey who likes shiny things. So Templeton has a conversation with the noble and let him in on the plan, basically. And the plan is, Pork Pie, having studied the Marshal, is going to transform into the Marshal and take over his duties, where they're either going to kill or kidnap the Marshal, hasn't been decided yet. And then with Pork Pie at the head of the militia, they're going to start to try to trend towards more peaceful ways with the orc tribes around the city of Riversend, rather than trying to antagonize them and kill everybody. Pork Pie is a seagull.
Pork Pie is indeed a seagull. Alright, one of your allies, from that earlier, that earlier failed, questions the wisdom of bringing this eccentric old man into it.
That will be Otis.
Okay.
Otis was never really sold on the idea to begin with, but just felt that he owed Templeton a favor for something in the past to do with his sister. And as when Otis hears that, Otis has now been smuggled into the party at this point, and Otis, hearing that the old man was involved with that, starts to turn on Templeton and like question his, sobriety, and they have a brief scuffle. And Otis, being enhanced by many machines, chucks Templeton out of a window, which causes a bit of a stir in the courtyard.
Okay.
Pork Pie squawks.
Templeton, you get chucked right into that guy you swindled out of the tickets. He starts making a huge scene where he's calling you a fraud, and now everybody's gathering around to kind of see what's going on.
Templeton decides that there's really no sense in trying to kind of keep things low-key at this point. So he starts a duel with the man, questioning his honor.
Alright, the man accepts the duel. Let's get a dexterity-based roll for dueling.
23.
Oh, you win the shit out of the duel.
Templeton, forgetting for a second that he's supposed to be posing as a noble, loots the guy's pockets after he takes him down.
Alright.
Moving on to the second phase of the plan, Templeton kind of fades off into the shadows.
Second. I'm so sorry about this. My Skype is going nuts, and I need to figure out a way to turn off the beepy sounds. Alright, but continue on.
Alright, so Templeton and Otis are now okay after Otis defenestrated him. And they move on to the second phase of the plan, where they need to abduct the Marshal, who was also at the party, and either kill him or put him somewhere. So I'm going to roll a dex check as to whether or not he is killed or put somewhere.
Okay.
The Marshal is stashed in a closet.
Marshall is stashed in a closet, but he's
alive, but he is secure and unable to escape.
But he is injured. You are under a clock right now, because if you don't finish this up, he may bleed out.
Alright, so Otis is now set to the task of interrogating him, trying to figure out as much information as possible that Pork Pie can use in assuming this guy's identity. And Pork Pie did messed up his transformation spell a little bit, so now he just looks like a giant seagull. But he's wearing all the Marshal's like uniform and insignia and everything, and he's very, very convincing to the point where people just think that the Marshal turned into a giant seagull, but it is in fact the Marshal.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. This is not the strangest thing that's happened in Riversend.
So Pork Pie, at the head of his militia, slowly over months and months changes the tune of the town of Riversend and makes them more friendly with the orcs. And orcs begin to move into the town and establish businesses and markets and things to that effect.
All right.
And Templeton also snatches away that artifact, saying that the old guy can't have it. Actually, he willingly gives it away due to the circumstances.
All right. And what do you do with the artifact afterwards?
Stash it in my pocket.
Stash it in your pocket. All right. So, pretty much in response to all this happening, you've definitely kind of eased the tensions in this area, but there's still a little bit of worry that since the item, by the way, is pretty much what the orcs consider a ritual item. It works very similar to the way the ley lines and wards work across the Empire. That kind of keeps larger monsters out of civilized areas. But there's now more of an alliance rather than a standoff. The kind of combined protective forces is working really well. So, in reward, one of the old eccentric nobleman does kind of for making the town more peaceful and managing not just rob him goddamn blind. Gives you a small coin that you can tell is not of kind of the make of Imperial, Elven, Dwarven. It is a very ancient coin, but you can feel some power emanating off of it.
Is it a lucky coin that always shows heads?
It actually does have both a heads and a tails. The heads is an image of... Pick an icon you really like.
A seagull in a military uniform.
Okay. It's a picture of... when you touch it, the image shifts to a picture of Pork Pie. On the back, pick something you don't like. Mages. It is a picture of a nasty-looking wizard dude with a skull face.
Jim Wizardo?
It's Jim Wizardo. This is the Warlord's Lucky Coin. This slots into your chakra that pretty much what's it called? Would where books and scrolls would normally go.
Okay.
Merely holding this, your successes on skill rolls become more pronounced, so you can now crit on successes. But your failures also get more pronounced. So you can also critically fail on successes, on skill rolls.
Wow.
In battle, you can take a quick action to flip the coin. If it lands heads, your critical threshold is increased by 1 until your next critical strike, up to 2. And if it flips tails, your failure threshold is increased by 1, up to 2.
Cool.
That's an item I made!
That's cool.
Ba-na-na-na.
Alright, and I want one last thing from you. I want a leadership role of sorts.
A leadership role
Yep.
of sorts?
Just to kind of gauge your general performance as an impressive leader during all of this.
It's gonna be charisma,
Charisma?
and I'm gonna use con man as my
Okay.
other bit, so it's gonna give me a +9. Come on, crit. 21.
21.
It's 21.
One of the characters from this side story gifts something that can help the settlement in some way. Be it a boon, or be it resources, or be it peoples, or be it an item.
Gabriel's a scientist and he's an inventor, so he gifted the technique he used for limb replacement on Otis to either whoever the hell can use that.
You guys actually don't have a doctor yet, NPC-wise, so that's Malkesh.
Yes!
Oh, good God, no!
Why?
Why would you do that?
You specifically said boon.
So Malkesh can replace people's limbs with robot limbs.
So you now have a scroll of limb replacement.
Awesome.
And now let's go to our conference room. Alright. So, a little bit of time has passed. Everybody sit where you want, actually.
Oh, okay then. Actually, you know what? Screw this. That is the bar, right?
That is the bar.
Good.
As tended by Master Bartender, the OC. So Cyril speaks up. Well, I'm happy to report we've actually had a massive increase in pretty much our, well, every bit of profitability from the markets since you came back. In fact, some of our particularly troublesome areas when it came down to bandits have been completely alleviated by those mysteriously deciding to help us.
Sure is mysterious.
Does anybody have... Could anybody please brief me on this, perhaps?
I'm getting my notes.
We made some deals, we talked to some people, we signed some papers, we shook some hands, kissed a baby or two, and whiz bang, we got some people to work.
Either way...
Never, none of that happened.
Well, minus the baby kissing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, either that, it's... Well, I suppose... That's considered a success, more or less, so... Here is your kind of cut of the profits. And he places 1,050 gold on the table for you to split as you wish. That is 175 gold a person if you do it perfectly evenly.
We might as well do it evenly then.
Yeah.
Because what else are we even going to agree on?
Nothing, probably.
We can give Carnifex's portion to me.
No, I will.
See, no, this is exactly why we're doing evenly.
What does he need money for?
You can have Malkesh's portion, not mine.
Alright, that's fine.
Fuck no, I set the deal up.
Actually, well, it depends on which one. Which one are we talking about here?
There's a bunch of
That
deals.
is a good
They're
question.
set up by a
Which deal?
bunch of
Yeah.
different people.
Let's just do evenly.
Well, sure you guys have heard of the soaring shithawks. The militia from the town down the river, or up the river.
It could be either because of geography.
Geography!
I mean, we could always give away Kellen's share unless he has something to say about it.
No.
Nothing?
Going once, twice.
Gunhild gets paid. Next order of business. While you were away, did Does anybody have any suggestions for, now that we have some more permanent structures and population, what we can call our town? Anybody?
I spent all week coming up with a river send, so you guys gotta field this one.
We can come back to it.
Yes.
Wait, no,
Let's
we'll
do that.
Yes.
Lastly, with many of our projects underway, we theoretically could begin some anew. I've compiled a list of some of the suggestions from last time, as well as some new suggestions that come up, but if anybody else has anything they'd like to potentially add to the town, we will make decisions.
Well, we could use a clinic of some sort.
Oh dear.
With an actual healer and not this thing.
Well, I'll need someone to run it when I'm not here, of course.
And while you're here, and you know,
How, like at all?
time,
At
yeah.
all. Yeah.
We
Always.
still need the facility, which we don't have.
As long as it's not, as long as these supplies are not stocked by you.
Now,
Yep.
hold on now. Kudara is doing
Ever.
much better now after my care.
I wasn't here for that, so I don't know.
What
wait,
are
no,
we
I
naming?
was.
Alright. So I've added clinic to the list. So...
Clinic, nah.
Can we call it the Poke Center?
Oh god.
Poke a center? Yeah.
We've... Some of the folks who are more enamored with your exploits have suggested building an incredible statue in the town square, which seems like an utter waste.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
No.
Can we make a statue?
I'm totally down with
that's
the
needed.
statue idea.
No.
We, of course, from the last time have the potential of a residential district or the Academy of the Arcane Sciences, as led
No.
Yes,
by
that one.
Arlando and
Stargate.
Stargazer Alfreds. Of course, our current upgrade, our current projects, we could put more work into the defenses, into the market, or into our smithy. Many people have pointed out that there is an increase of criminal activity in the town, so some people are actually requesting that we make an official group that would act as kind of town police, which, depending on who we choose, will either, well, police the town or...
Police the town.
One actually discourages criminal activity, and one makes it safer for the town folk without actively discouraging. And now we have this clinic idea.
I like that second one.
The police, the town,
Yeah.
quote end quote.
Thanks
It
to
is
the
a
last-
policing of sorts.
Thanks to the last one, you have 3 worker groups. Assigning more than one to a group will make it complete faster and better.
Okay. We should get... We don't really need... Okay, the smithy and the market are alright for now. Did we say gnaw to the clinic?
No, I just was too...
No,
too
sign
lazy.
workers.
Yeah, and then after I hit save, I was like, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, clinic wouldn't be bad. We should probably get that going. And we need a place for Orlando to sit that's not at this table.
The Academy might help in the search for the vault.
Yeah.
Oh, we
So
have
I'm thinking,
to talk
I'm
to
thinking
him about that
Cops
shit.
Clinic Vault.
We still have no place for anybody to live.
And I got 10.
Yeah,
that's fine.
residential wouldn't be that bad of an idea.
Because then
So maybe
more
no cops then?
people would. Well, cops, yes. People. Getting people in, and then it's a toss-up between the clinic and the arcane defense, or arcane studies. Because, I mean, literally, we don't have to do a clinic until we get a healer in. Because otherwise, it's going to sit there, and
Be
I'm not
occupied by
trusting
nothing.
Malcash in there, yeah. That which is even worse than if we just don't build it at all.
So no to the incredible statue, then, is what I'm getting.
Not right now.
That's kind of like a paid off all your debts to Tom Nook kind of thing.
Yeah. Once we have a proper city or town or whatever, then we can think about statues of all of us in different districts. Each district will be denoted by a statue of one of us.
Does anybody else have, like...
shoot lasers?
Yes.
Yay!
What?
If we focus on the academy, we may actually be able to train a healer locally, and then we would have someone for the clinic later.
Yeah, so I'm saying academy, police, whichever one we decide on, police or
Parentheses.
police, and residential district. That's my vote, personally.
I'm agreeing with you.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd definitely go with the residential districts. I kind of would lean towards the smithy instead of...
Well, that's
Academy of
because
Arcane.
you're absolutely in love with Mort, but...
Look, I love Mort too. Mort's great.
We all love Mort.
Yeah.
he has something
I
for now.
have to stand by my Dragonic number. Okay.
He has something.
Look at that
upgrade
tiny
now.
little place he has. He can't be...
He has something for now. He's happy. Let's get some other stuff going and we can upgrade them later.
Might go bake him
Yeah.
a cake or something.
We could give him work, and that would give him resources to upgrade it himself.
Well, aside, I think I have... Well, mine are conflicted, but... I mean, do we have any other successful dice rolls we could use in terms of icons?
Someone had a 6.
I have a
Right.
6, and that's conflicted with the partners.
Oh.
Well, a 6 is still you can get something out of the partners. The 5 would be you could get something out of the partners, but then there'd be a complication.
Right. So, I wonder if we could use that to assist the upgrade of one of these things.
And then use our 3 groups of workers for something else.
Yeah, like we could essentially be calling it a favor. Because we've opened trade routes with here, and that's good for the partners.
This is true.
That is ostensibly what Gunhild is trying to do, to earn favor.
Arcana
So
lets
we're pretty
know-
much all agreed on the residential
Police, the
district.
town? Yeah.
Okay, what are we all agreed on?
Residential district.
I think
Yeah.
we're all happy with residential districts.
And now,
I'd
think
prefer
he
the
has
smithy, but
a-
nobody else wants to do the smithy.
if real-time strategy games have taught me anything, if we add more residential district, then it means we get more workers in the future anyway.
That's actually a very sound strategy.
Yeah.
So we do residential, police the town, and what was the third one, Smithy? Or was it arcane?
A lot of us are leading towards the academy.
We
Yeah.
can do the academy,
Smithy.
and we can spend Callan's dice on the upgrade Smithy.
If that is what he so wishes.
I'm good with that. That's basically what I was going to suggest anyways.
Okay.
All right, concurring. Everyone's in agreement.
Yeah.
Even
Nick,
Carter.
Is there any other questions?
Are you using your
Steve?
5 or your 6?
I don't really know how many other opportunities I'm going to get to use a 6, so I'm going to go with the 6. Because this is like the first time I've ever actually utilized any of these dice rolls, or this might actually be the first success I've had for these dice rolls.
Okay, so residential, academy, Smitty is the Parther 6. So which type of policing are you going to do?
The one in quotations.
In quotations, yeah.
You're the one that keeps the peace.
Can we actually get the band, the police?
Especially since
are you gonna
my
send out an
can you
SOS?
Can you believe that?
Police Chief Sting.
We are sending out an SOS for the police.
I was gonna go for like
Police Chief Sting and Deputy Roxanne.
no.
I don't know, they might be
I-
under pressure.
That's only when Captain Mercury comes into town.
Sometimes with Bowie.
So you are decided that you are policing the town.
quote
Yes.
unquote the. Yeah,
we want
the-
people to be
Can we
safe,
quote
but we
it
want
one
the
again?
free market to flourish.
Okay.
because we promised all those bandits and robbers and stuff that they would have a place to ply their trade. So if we then got actual police and shut it all down, we would be dead.
All of our work would
We
have
aren't trying
been
to
for
be
naught.
no, Imperial City.
I missed that part.
All
Carry on.
right. So I'm going to say the police. With that, the one thing with the police is that group of workers, as long as you keep it there, will be considered a group of enforcers of the rules.
Whose rules? We don't know, but there are rules.
Generally, if there's somebody who's would be a kind of an upstanding citizen that's a little worried, there is some protection there, but it definitely doesn't seem to be interfering with the black market.
Okay.
However, next time around, you will have to keep workers there as the police force.
But then we have a residential district that's going to be all having us extra workers and shit then. It's canon now, Dan.
Alright, Cyril continues writing things down. And, well, this is actually good forward progress. I'm as shocked as you are.
There's nothing I love more than incredulous compliments from him.
Has Serial completed Templeton's Emporium of Maps?
There is no Emporium of Maps right now.
Well, that was the
Arlando.
one thing I asked for before I left.
How about
Arlando,
ye old toy shop? Do we have ye old toy shop yet?
Arlando bangs his kind of wingy fist on the table. There'll be a library in the academy.
For which one?
Both.
Because there are some things I'm not sure I want to return.
I don't think anyone will want the maps back either.
I remember back when I was in the academy. Yes, we were in a similar situation where we were all stuck in a dorm room for 4 days with only a magic wand between us.
Don't really need to know about this.
Alkesh gives a very uncomfortable glance over at Arlando.
And we're done.
Templeton's still, like, staring off JD from Scrubs style, thinking about a map emporium.
Arlando takes out, flips open his little tiny snuff box and presses it up against one of the beak holes and takes a. All right. I've pored over these maps. Thank you, Malkesh, for taking these etchings. These copies were just what we needed to kind of locate, well, this long-lost vault.
Didn't we already know where it was?
We found some clues, but we weren't sure. We found the way station where the zombies attacked us. That's what it turned out to be. It wasn't the actual vault, it was just a place with information about where the vault was. Yeah.
So, yes. Good job. You did good, Malkesh. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Now, do you want the good news or the bad news? Fuck!
Oh, we actually got good news.
Okay, that last one wasn't me. I don't know how to do actions in the chat. Just saying.
Not even
By the laughter, I'm guessing it was Chris.
So, good news, bad news.
This is 100% more good news than we're used to getting.
So, good news first, then?
Sure.
I have 90% figured out the location of the Vault of the Archmage. And it is in this part of the world. I was
Are you
worried-
pointing at a map right now?
He is kind of pointing at a map, and he does like a circle of the general wilderness area. I was worried for a little bit that it may have been, located in maybe around Lich Kingy area or somewhere that would be more or less bad for us.
But,
More than less.
But it is also, he kind of trails with his finger kind of from the map, right off the map into open sky. It is kind of on a separate floating island, not too far from the mainland.
A separate floating island.
Yes. As we are on a floating continent.
Do we have ships that can do that?
Well, it's good you asked that. You remember as when you first met Orlando, he was working on a flying machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I have nearly completed repairs on the Hummingbird.
The Hummingbird.
Yes.
Okay.
However, I've run out of parts, and well, generally I'm a man of gumption and hope, and, well, sometimes many, many quarts of liquor. I'm not sure that will get us across open sky.
Not unless you throw hard enough.
I'll throw Melkesh as a test.
I'm not sure you can throw quite hard enough.
Only one way to find out. Throw Melkesh off the island.
I mean, I'm all for various experiments, like throwing people in the name of science.
What
But-
parts are you missing?
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, assorted parts. Parts that definitely we...
Are you missing like an Ocby landing gear and an arcane efficiency engine and like an ever-heating forge and things to that effect?
See, you've been looking at Atlas's stock already. While I don't need all of those things, an arcane efficiency engine would be nice, and I can certainly improvise landing gear. Or, well, her parts are top-notch, and I would be able to kind of repurpose some things that I already have to complete the build. She is, however, incredibly expensive.
See that? Especially the two things that we need.
Theoretically, we could also scavenge enough from the junkyard as well.
Oh, back to the junkyard. It's full of traps.
Yeah, we did all right last time.
I'm pretty sure we managed to spring most of them. It might be safer now.
And also, I'm also pretty sure that Orlando was the guy who made the traps. So,
Oh, that's true.
He was.
I was.
You wouldn't happen to have a list of those traps, would you?
Oh, God, no. I was high out of my mind on fairy powder.
That's what I was afraid of.
I'm pretty sure I built traps that I'll never remember.
We're on a death mission then? I just sat back down.
Well, we can either try and talk to Atlas to get the perks from her, except for they're stupidly expensive and money, or try and roll and fail disastrously and do something bad, or go through the junkyard of death to salvage parts.
Junkyard.
There are some things. What do we actually need again?
Assorted parts.
Assorted parts.
He gives you a list of parts. Atlas's would definitely help, but he does note that Atlas's would help more because things he's using for things he can repurpose to other devices. Atlas's are very high quality parts.
Okay, so it's not like he's even looking for a specific thing that Atlas has. It's just parts
No.
from those things.
You do see that landing gear is on the list, so probably important.
Okay. Landing helps. Landing, yep.
It ensures there won't be a crash landing.
How much money do we have that we could spend on this?
That's what I'm saying. Like, even if we pooled everything we have, which is a huge stretch and requires a whole lot of, teamwork and cooperation.
Hey, my teamwork and cooperation can be bought.
A lot. With what money?
That's the issue. That's the issue.
Generally, both Atlas and Z's, the idea is that, especially Atlas's items, you do have to pool resources to purchase. That will help things around the town. However, I'm pretty sure the landing gear is out of price range.
I can't even see the list. I closed that stuff down. How do I bring it back up?
You go to the Characters and Handouts tab in Journal. It should be Settlement Market.
Journal. Settlement Market. There we go. Holy crap.
Alright. We're going on a gathering quest.
Alright.
Fetch quest. Need 4 blue cards.
Well, that about settles that up. Oh, wait.
Oh, what?
He takes out, William Goodporch said he had messages for you, Gunhild, and you, Nastasia.
Oh,
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
you got mail.
Only good things could come of this.
Only good. Let's bust a letter open.
Alright. Well, I don't have them. I can't collect your mail.
Oh. Fine.
I can only do
Go to him.
almost everything for you folks.
Let's go get our mail then.
Alright, so you have a couple of options of things to do. Or you can just, talk to random people as well. Who goes with who?
Well, I guess I'm gonna go get mail.
I want to go talk to the Hawk and see if I had any calls while I was away.
Alright. So Templeton is seeing William.
Yeah, ditto.
William. Gunhild.
Oh, but I'm going to drop into to go to see Mort and give him a hug and be like, "You're adorable," and then I'm going to leave.
Alright.
We're all gonna check in on Mort and then collect our mail.
Just like pop in and be like, "Hi, how's it going?"
Hey, buds! How do you like my new digs?
It's looking great, Mort.
I'm assuming we all love Mort just because it makes a dandy accent.
In parts.
Alright.
I do need to support my people.
Carnifex, Greenblades, and
He is
Malkesh.
the only other draconic settlement.
I actually haven't heard from Nikki in a while. Like, even while we were doing the arguing over... Well, not arguing, but discussion of what to do with the town. I don't think she said anything.
Yeah, she
Her
seems to
mic
disappoint.
might be muted again.
Yeah, well, her mic could be muted.
Nikki, is your mic muted?
Or she may have had just stuck out.
Yeah. Oh!
So?
No, it's not. Then you broke it. For shame.
Alright, well,
So...
type who you're going to, what you're going to do in Roll20 chat. Because of stream.
Yeah.
And it still just says Malkesh eats own ass there.
How's that? Any better?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Did I just hear a
That's
cat?
better.
I missed
I turned it down a little bit. and I think I turned it down too much. So right. So we have options of what we're gonna do now.
We already.
Oh, you got an echo.
Have I got an echo as well? That's no good. Hang on. Let me see. Well, nothing else should be on.
Do you have headphones?
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably just it's picking up the speakers now. Probably.
Is it picking up this? Right, I see. How's that? Any better?
Yes.
So now I can't hear you. That's not good.
And I think there's even still a faint one. All right, Carnif.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Am I
can't
still?
Yeah, you are. All right, Carnifex
Yes.
and Malkesh. What's your general plan? You know that you did not receive mail. You know that a lot of changes has happened around the settlement, and you know that Atlas has parts you need. As well as there's a talk of a junkyard that Malkesh has never gone to.
We'll make him take a point.
Not
Oh,
into machines. Sorry.
no, I mean, you're gonna be our trap detector. As in, you're going to trip the traps, and they will hit you instead of us.
I don't know. I did fine last time.
That'd be great, but I'm actually going to be going to Mort because I have business for him.
Okay. Malkesh is going to see more.
What's the status on this this duster?
When you drop in to see Mort, you can see he's pretty much still hard at work at it. It is a brilliant white duster.
Nice. So good for camouflage.
It's winter. Quick, put on the white duster.
Alright. I will give I will kind of, while Carnifex thinks, give everybody their letters from
People.
from people. Templeton, you actually have received. William kind of nods in his own mostly quiet way. You've pretty much received word from Io on a job well done, and that the guild looks favorably on your work.
Excellent.
Nastasia, you have a pretty much update directly from Zexel.
Oh.
Pretty much, and one of the big things that you see is that from the investigations, from kind of the town, from when you were both in Dullendal, he's found that he has found no connection between the Chaos Cult that had taken over the library, that demon, as well as that Separatist group.
So
in
no,
fact,
no link between those two at all.
No. But he has found that that Chaos Cult may have roots in the Coast of Yore, one of the kingdoms in the Allied Kingdoms.
The Coast of Yore.
He also pretty much gives you a general report that when it comes to that Separatist group, that they have expanded beyond a general sort of Separatist group. What he's found out is generally on par with what you figured out, that it's probably the mastermind is probably the Dragon Erazares, but he does not list any specific names. So he either is keeping it from you or does not know himself.
Okay.
Gunhild, yours
Yes.
is actually just a handwritten letter that is both just a apology, saying I'm sorry for last time, then lists a time, a place in the very crowded marketplace, and is signed from Delilah.
Huh. Intriguing.
Is that dumb elf that we hate?
Yeah, it is.
She appeared last time too. Also getting frustrated by Fizz Finnegan.
How curious.
I don't know. I'm starting to kind of like her.
But she's everything we hate.
Not everything. Just like...
She's a large quantity of the things that we hate.
Well, yeah, but so is the rest of our party, so...
Maybe they're not all that bad.
Alright, well, you guys think on what you're doing there. Malkesh, you meet up with Mort. Oh, hey, Goblin Bud.
Hey, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Looks like you got some nice place here.
I know.
Lots of room, you got the tools you need. Good stuff, good stuff.
She's a beaut.
Yeah. Say, what's the usual pound of flesh you require for some custom work getting done here?
Well, you know, you're a... Well, you know, for you, you know, this... You've done so many favors for me that I gotta give you guys a break, but, I mean, now I'm kind of in charge of this place, and I got people to pay, so...
I get it. You gotta keep the business going. I get that. I'm not looking for, you know, a huge favor, but I am looking for something special.
Well, tell me what you're thinking there, bud.
Okay. And he kind of reaches into his vest and he pulls out a throwing knife, and it's rusty and it's sharpened, but it's definitely seen better days. It's still got a little blood sticking on it from God knows how long ago. Yeah, see, I kind of picked these up in a second-hand market a few years ago, and I mean, they've served me well, but, you know,
I'd say.
Nowadays, with my status and my name becoming a little more familiar, I'm thinking I need something with more panache. More of a presence out there, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I see. You're looking for some equipment upgrades there, eh, bud?
Well, yeah, in a sense. I'm looking for a whole new set of throwing knives, and I thought it hit me. It hit me as soon as I reached town. What I need is some bone-handled throwing knives.
Oh, God.
Fuck yeah, bud!
Yeah, see, I've been collecting some parts, you know, important peoples, some scrubs, those kind of things, and I think I have all the materials you need for the handles, but I can't do the metal. It's just not my thing. I'm not a big fan of fire, as it were.
That's
not
fair.
Too
I mean,
some bad memories.
I got no shortage of metal here now, bud, since they moved me in as the head blacksmith, and I'm not gonna question too much how you acquired all these, but yeah.
With a sharp knife, of course. You got to use a sharp knife. It's very hard to do it with a dull knife.
Yes, and
too much muscle sticks, too much tendon. It doesn't come out very pretty, and then there's
Cartilage.
the boiling for hours, and the bleaching, it takes some time. But here he kind of reaches back and he pulls out a big, somewhat bloody bag and sets it on the counter.
Mort is just innocently nodding as
I got
Malkesh is talking.
I got 6 tibias and 56 kneecaps, and I'm looking at about a density of about 10 kneecaps a handle. You think that's doable?
I think that's more than doable. I'd say, you know what? Considering the materials, if I can do the quote, maybe if you can get like 300 gold.
I can do 300, but I'm gonna need 5. Gotta have all 5, you know.
Oh yeah, no, you won't want less than 5 for.
No.
Well, I'm sure you got your reasons, bud.
Well, you know, I mean, you have 1, you gotta go get it. You got 2, well, you're tempted to throw both, then you gotta get them. 5 gives you a right amount. If you need more than 5, it's time to pull out the heavy artillery. One of my patented potions, if you know what I mean.
Ooh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, no, if you got the coin, then I can get to work on these right away. I'm trying to make sure that, you know, getting used to this leadership, got my crew here. Making sure that they, you know, learn the ropes and do most of the incidental stuff. I got a priority on you guys.
Oh, well then, yeah, I definitely have the coin for someone of your skills. Yeah, so hold on just a minute. And he goes and he brings out the coins. He starts stacking them up in little piles of 10. And he gets 30 piles and sort of slides it across the counter.
Pretty much sliding it into a bag of his own, as well as taking the questionable satchel. Yeah,
I'm gonna need any extras back. I'm sorry to say,
Oh, absolutely.
but they should polish up just fine and pretty. I've seen some other works with it. It looks quite nice.
I'll get this done for you right away.
Thank you, Mort. I owe you one.
All right. So back to everybody else. What's
I have one question about
Yeah.
the letter.
Yeah.
Was there anywhere in there like, please don't call me Andy?
he is a consummate professional as always, and it's almost like that letter didn't even exist.
I did write all of that with the intention that should it be intercepted, it might not be obvious.
Yeah. And his is much the same way. It's I mean, he did send it through William, who is who keeps things on the down low. But you may wonder if that's the reason why there's been a lot of names out of it. The most dangerous thing he talks about is probably a chaos cult, because Crusader forces tend to overreact when they start hearing about chaos cults.
Right.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn now.
Yeah.
You said there was some Crusader forces still left there,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have to try and start setting up, because I have nothing else to do. The whole thing, because I promised Nyman Way help. So start setting that up with her and the Crusader forces. Maybe not to use these ones specifically, but to at least start a line of communication between the main forces. Or whoever's left after that. I guess a lot of them went off on boats or something.
Yeah, pretty much you get the report that quite a few Crusader forces have been. Not only have you heard about pretty much Reinhold's offensive using kind of the naval offensive, you also hear that they're in kind of turn, since that's been going so well. They're planning another big offensive across to push further across the ice wall, further up north. So you hear that pretty much there is a huge activity. So the numbers you have been gifted have been cut down significantly, but the crew you have are extraordinarily well trained.
Okay.
Nyman is just pretty much gives you a nod. I'm impressed. You're following through on that promise.
Well, I gave my word and I tend to keep it. Oh, sorry, just stretching. My back, like, seized up or something. I had to crack it. Oh, God. Okay, sorry. Trying to... So basically, there's no way to get any more people.
The kind of one who is commanding in your stead, he pretty much is just like, unfortunately, it's just us right now. I mean, we are fully under your command. You are our superior officer, and we have been told to pretty much march where you say. But I find it unlikely that they would send any further support beyond us.
Okay, good to know. So does Nyman know when this stuff is gonna happen, or is there other things that have to go on in the meantime?
She pretty much is just like, I'll probably be making my way back towards there fairly soon, but gatherings of clans take a while to set up. I've only just received word from the homeland, and well, it might be better than we thought. A lot of the reformers near the borders have been getting a sudden boost in well, pretty much their numbers and their dominance, which is impressive.
Okay, well, seems like I'm gonna be off again for a bit, so in the meantime, I'm gonna set it up where my subordinate is gonna work with Nyman, going over things, making plans upon plans of what we could do.
All right.
So when I get back, I have some options, and letting them know that this is, we're not. This will be helpful for us in the end too, because it might. I'm gonna say this away from Nyman, like just me and him having a heart-to-heart.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, that this might open up greater recruiting within the Orklands for the Crusaders' army. So, a bigger and tougher force to go after the demons with. So, play nice, basically.
Okay. I understand, sir.
Carry on.
You notice that there's a couple of half-orcs within his crew, so
Yeah.
you're not terribly worried about this being one of those all-human regiments. You almost possibly feel like you don't know if it was
Picked that way.
Yeah. And you don't know if that's because you believe that they'll work better with you, or that others would work more poorly under you.
Yeah.
So back at Z-Smart, you also see that Atlas has set up all her wares, and you do see a fine piece of landing gear, a forge that people would be able to, that is far beyond the capabilities of the current forge. You see that you also see pretty much a strange arcane device, as well as another kind of runic platform, a distension sphere that Templeton may be familiar. That's how wizard jail works. That's where you go if you get caught in Grand Indospham.
In wizard jail.
We could have our very own wizard jail.
It's a jail for wizards, right?
Exactly. We don't like them, so we can have them. And whenever we capture wizards we don't like, we can throw them in jail.
But that would require capturing them instead of killing them.
It's happened once or twice.
I feel like that this route would somehow be renamed the Wizard's Dungeon and be used for completely different things.
No, that's the basement of Ye Old Toy Shop.
Okay. Okay. Atlas waves with her giant construct hands. But just kind of like a friendly wave, not like a come over here wave. Alright. So, if nobody else has any further business, I can move it along to, if you leave now, you'll miss out on that time Delilah said to meet her.
You should at least go say hi.
I mean,
Seems fair.
she is a bee.
She did not necessarily specify coming alone, but do you bring anybody with you?
Sorry, I think I missed something. So who's actually received this notification from Delilah?
This was
You.
your mail. Go.
Oh, right. Sorry, knew that. I'm kind of... I'm, like, in and out right now. So who else... I guess, is anybody else available?
I think we all are.
It's been a little time. A little time has passed in between.
And it didn't make it sound like a... It wasn't like a come alone message. It didn't sound like anything particularly threatening or...
It in fact started with an apology.
Yeah. Well, let's just say, let Gunhild go around and see if anybody's interested in meeting with Delilah. Not forcing anybody, but explains that she received this message from her, and just wants to see if anybody would like to go chat with her and see what this is all about.
I would love to come along.
Malkesh would not.
No, Malkesh then.
Sure, why not?
Malkesh is busy making his kneecap daggers.
Oh no, that's taken care of.
He's busy planning on how to get more kneecaps.
Alright, you enter the bustling, now slightly underhanded market. You can tell that kind of the spot she's picked is a spot that she in turn can duck away from fairly easily should things go sour. But she is there once again in her trademark kind of red robes and cloak. Just kind of doing that kind of looking out for you.
I'll know I'm doing that. We'll go down and greet her cordially.
Right. She kind of eyes up that you're with Templeton and Nastasia.
Okay.
Is that correct? That was
I'm
me.
there.
That was me double checking.
That is correct. I believe that's our entire group right now.
She pretty much goes, once again, I'm sorry for that, my sudden interjection last time, but...
Well, we are terrible at taking a hint, if you hadn't noticed.
If you had walked into that ambush, it would have been as bad for me as it is for you.
Oh, really?
Considering the situation, I suppose we all kind of understand. But what do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
It's... Look, I'm going to completely level with you because, well, I believe we can be more help to each other than we can be working against each other. I am an investigator for Grand Nadostrum, ensuring that there's no underhanded plots happening right now.
I slip in a little closer. Oh, really?
We've long suspected that there are a few Grand Maguses working to kind of, well, let's say, undermine the authority, especially if they're working with outside influences. I was close to tracking one via kind of the disruptions that they'd given to the magical ley lines here, but when you folks repaired it, it completely severed it completely severed any of their interest in there and destroyed any evidence. I was also believe that they may have been connected to somebody within the meeting in Dullahan, but then, well, the city was under attack and I had an orphanage to save.
And it's a good thing you saved it.
And last but not the least, I believe that there was a connection with the spell thieves themselves.
I tried, but they're dicks.
They are... The fact of the matter is, one of them may be attempting to leverage information within the Vault of the Archmage to, well, let's say, cause a significant amount of, significant shift of power. Nobody knows exactly what is contained in the Vault of the Archmage, other than the Archmage himself, which is why finding it is probably in the best interest before, as you said, a bunch of dicks decide to leverage it for themselves.
Out of curiosity, who exactly would they be leveraging it with?
As I said, I believe there is a group in the Mage's High Council who are trying to take power for themselves. And I've been very, very, very careful up until this point to try not to tip my hand that I may be aware of this. But I can say with absolute doubt that you have absolutely no connection to any except Arlando, who, well, was left in a blur of cursing people, saying that they were traitors to MageCon.
Yeah, fuck the Mage.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Arlanda.
I also know that he has a flying machine, and that flying machines run on metamagical engines, and that, well... And she kind of opens her hand, and there's kind of traces, kind of runes through the air. They can be made much, much more efficient with certain rune stones and that are not available in this part of the world. And this is where I think we can be of help for each other.
I suddenly think we can be very helpful for each other.
I know you're closer than I am because, well, unfortunately I was more concerned about finding out about... Well, let's just face it, there's no possible way Fizz Finnegan is smart enough to betray the entire Grand Magic Council.
But what about accidentally?
That is a possibility with Fizz.
However, his second in command
That guy.
has been gaining increasing power, and if one of our Grand Maguses is working with what's considered a renegade group of Maguses, well then that's some evidence I need to be able to bring this to become a public investigation. In fact, there's been one that's been missing, well, not missing, but away on business in the wilderness for quite some time. The Master Necromancer, Rick von Rixus. He's another Ockbee, you know how their names are. Alright, any response to that?
No, I mean, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. So, take me with you, Runestone. Or we can once again work separately as we have been, accidentally sabotaging each other constantly.
What do you mean each
I can't
other?
have
We've
best
been working,
interest.
we've been doing just fine.
She's forcing a friendship here, and I don't know if I'm ready for new friends right now.
No. I kind of like her. And by
Well,
like
considering
her,
the last,
I mean,
considering
I like that she's an investigator for the mages, and I totally want to get information out of her.
Hope
She
you don't
also
like
did
me.
save us from a trap, even if it was in the slightly more aggressive way than maybe necessary.
Well, I'm not sure that we would have listened otherwise. In fact, we didn't.
That's a good point.
She closes her hand and kind of the floating runes. So, I'll give you time to think about it. I know you're not setting out right away, so I'll be around.
I think the hardest part will be convincing our friends.
Yeah, you've got somebody who's vehemently anti-magic and somebody who's technically one of the most wanted people, one of the most wanted mages.
Yeah. God, we put the fun in dysfunctional, don't we?
We put the fun back in dysfunctional. Well, whatever. We don't really need to tell anybody. She wears a cloak often. We'll be alright.
Except we've all already met her.
Yeah. But, like, just don't tell her Orlando's around. Not like we're gonna take her back to the settlement. She can just, like, sit there and never go to the inn, ever.
Well, she is in the settlement. The settlement,
Yeah.
the settlement has gotten sufficiently large enough that somebody can blend in around here.
Be back in a second.
We'll just tell her that she can't fucking stir shit up.
Alright.
So if she wants to work with us, she's gotta, you know...
No, she's
Be
been
cool.
trying not to. We're the ones stirring shit up.
She's gotta... She's just gotta be cool, you know?
As long as Orlando doesn't ask her if she's a cop, we're fine. Alright. Pretty much you are now to the point where if you want any sun to get to the junkyard, you would have to leave now.
All right.
All right,
Hey,
mosey.
let's mosey. And wait, is she coming with us for the junkyard or after?
No, she is. She said that she pretty much says that she'll be around and that she will meet you later. She is giving you time to discuss and think about things.
Okay.
So other than gawking at the prices, has anyone actually tried to ask Atlas about the material?
No, but I am going to ask Delilah out for tea afterwards so we can girl chat about spy things.
Well, that's always good.
Malkesh, you weren't doing anything during that interaction.
No,
did you
I
want-
wasn't. Do you mind if I tried to negotiate with Atlas?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, Malkesh loses his rather traditional grin and walks over rather solemnly to Atlas and all the material on her stand. And it is a her, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just kind of goes, this is some nice stuff. It's too bad.
It is very nice stuff.
It's just too bad, though.
What is the problem?
Well, I mean, you've talked to Orlando, haven't you?
I have not spoken to the Magus in a while.
He is
Not
in a
since I
tough
set up.
spot. He is in a really tough spot. He stands quite literally on the doorstep of the greatest magical find of this century. But he just doesn't have the material he needs. It's horrid, really.
In what
I mean,
way does this magic discovery alter your mind state? I am aware of Orlando's normal discoveries.
Well, this is the Vault of the Archmage.
Oh.
That would be a significant discovery.
Wouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't you like to be involved with that? I mean, I'm so excited to be part of this group of heroes. It is just amazing the kind of things we do every day and the respect I get and all the kindness that's thrown at me in the group. I mean, I just can't repay it back ever. And Orlando has just proven himself such a reliable and interesting fellow, wouldn't you say?
So you're gonna have to roll for that because she can recognize that maybe 4 out of the 3 words, maybe 4 of those words were true.
Sure.
So
that
charisma
would be-
plus background and level.
Yeah. I'm going to use Dirty Run Scoundrel, and I clicked Greenblade sheet, not mine. That was Smooth Move XX. Okay, let's see. Where is Dirty Run Scoundrel? Not Strength. Charisma. Please be good.
23. She kind of, she nods, which is pretty much the only thing you can really get out of her face. She seems to be like what some would, I guess, would call a older model of the Warforged or Forgeborn or whatever they're called in the 13th Age setting.
Right.
More so than Alfred's is, who's kind of a little bit more expressive and a little bit more modern.
Right.
This would do very well for both our profiles.
Not only that, but think everything that could grow the academy that they're already breaking ground on. I mean, everyone involved would be instantly a recognized expert in the field, wouldn't you say? It's a lot of respect,
That is
a lot of
correct.
money. Respect
Okay.
brings money in.
I will make you a deal.
Oh. I wasn't expecting that, please.
There is... From the Thieves' Town, there is... Well, let us say a group that left early without making full payment. You can recover a magical item from them. I would say it would be an excellent one-for-one trade. Favors run the wilderness, as they say.
So it's either more junkyard exploring or go kill a bunch of dudes. I have a feeling this group is gonna go kill a bunch of dudes.
I actually would go to the junkyard, but
Maybe the guys are in the junkyard and we can do both.
Mayor,
I think Nikki wants to kill a bunch of dudes by all of her yeses.
I'm pretty sure no matter what, we're just gonna kill a bunch of people.
yeah,
Seems
yeah.
to be what always happens.
yeah.
This
The question is, do we
also-
want to do what Malkesh wants to do?
13th Age is a fighty game.
Oh, that is an excellent offer. And I will take you up on that if you're willing to provide the details. But, well, I'm sorry. I should actually say I will bring it to the hero's attention. But I don't see any reason they would say no. But the problem is we actually need 2 items. But, this isn't for me. This is for Orlando. I mean, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be bringing it up. He's so down right now. He's so close to his goal. And, you know how it is with him. He gets so excited, and when he can't quite get there, he gets frustrated.
If that is the case, I would require not only for you to recover the item for me, but also my choice of pick of anything you recover from the vault. Within reason.
Within reason, of course. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to agree to that, as I'm not actually the one in charge of this expedition. Out of character, I'm not even sure who is!
As long as any of us has to agree to giving something up, none of us are.
Yeah.
Arlando
No,
is an
Nikki, no,
old
you are
friend.
not.
He will
is
know what it will entail
a
if he
dear
brings
friend.
me into a partnership on this expedition.
Well, I will certainly bring it to the group. You've been more than gracious, and I'm sure Orlando will be thrilled with your involvement. Thank you very much for your time on this.
You are welcome, small friend.
It's Professor Dr. Malkesh. That's okay.
Professor Smallfriend.
Yeah, Z's, as you're walking away, Z's runs up. Hold up for a second. You do know Atlas's reputation, right?
Malkesh just sort of smiles and goes, "Of course."
No, you
No,
can't.
no, I don't know.
Look, you don't get to be such a big-time magical item dealer without, well, finding a way to draw the big stick every time when it comes to a pile.
Yeah, I got that, but speed is of the essence. We're already kind of behind.
Alright. Well, you proved yourself more competent than I first thought, so I'll leave this one up to you.
Now I just have to go and not have the party kill me for suggesting it.
Alright, you
Good
now...
luck on that.
You reconvene. You definitely do not have time to do both of these.
Damn.
The details she gave you said that pretty much that group is just passing through. I mean, theoretically, you could do Malkesh's and then maybe scavenge, but that would put you behind in general. But it's definitely an option.
Well,
What are we getting from Malkesh's suggestion exactly?
the item as is, pretty much
The stuff
pre-constructed.
from Atlas.
5,000 GP worth of stuff.
And I don't think we have that much between all of us.
No.
No.
So it's a bunch, but then we'll also owe her.
One
She'll
item.
get to pick what she wants from the Vault of the Archmage, meaning that that one thing we might need, she might get it, and then later on we'll have to try and buy it back from her or some bullshit like that.
But this does leverage the group's better skills of killing shit versus picking through trash.
Hey, I'm great at picking through stuff. I can even make a pretty costume out of it.
It is also kind of the difference between being definitely screwed and maybe not quite as screwed.
I vote for maybe not quite as screwed.
Which option is that?
Malkesh's.
Oh.
Oh, I thought it was the... I'm thinking of future screwed. Because if
Yeah.
we have to give up something that we really need, we're going to have to do this again.
That's what I mean. It's kind of Malkesh's option. Well, I mean, I guess. You know, forget.
I vote for Junkyard.
Alright. I'm putting people on, let's say Junkyard is this away, on the crossroads, and then not Junkyard is towards where is kind of the path Malkesh is on. So you vote by moving your pogs. Well, Greenblades is definitely leveraging her enforcer.
She wants to go stab people.
There we go.
Well, that's just it. We now don't have a choice. If we go for one trade-off, we won't have time to do
the other.
Yeah.
You theoretically, if you do Malkesh's first, you could go scavenge.
But then we're not saving any time, so why bother?
Because it's one guaranteed item.
Oh, wasn't
But
it?
then we also have to give
Two?
another item away.
Well, we could get to if we agree to her other part of the deal.
We can also get to if we scavenge them in the junkyard, without
Yeah.
having to owe her anything from the vault. of the
If we
Archmage.
find it, if it can be converted. These
I
are
just don't-
operating items.
I have full faith in Orlando.
You don't necessarily have to do the gold things.
As
Yes, we do.
as a reminder, Orlando did say that while landing gear is absolutely necessary, he did say the efficiency engine would be nice.
Well, what if we got the one item and then got the stone from Delilah?
Uh,
Because that would increase efficiency, as she said, too.
you have options here.
Yeah, we don't have to give Atlas anything from gold. But we can get a guaranteed item by tracking these people down and looking.
To get the landing gear from her and the stuff
Yeah.
from Delilah,
Yes.
potentially.
Yes.
Because.
And Malkesh can't complain about Delilah because he has no idea.
Oh yes,
Still
we.
going, by the way?
No, but you're very quiet.
Okay, well, I'd prefer to be quiet than actually. I might turn it up so that we'll see. Let me know if.
Anyway, yeah, time is my concern. I would rather spend more time and not have to go to two places.
Okay, this is gonna sound stupid, but what if we split up?
No, God, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
What if we try and cover both our bases? And be
Then we'll
green.
make the encounters both too hard for us, and we will all die. The end.
Oh, listen to Mr. Metagame here.
I don't know. In theory, that might work. Although for gaming, that might take too long.
I forget which plan is which, so let's just go here.
One plan we go and bust some heads, the other plan we go and root through some rubbish.
Both
Rubbish
sound
with traps.
We're gonna fight something either way, so that's how this generally goes.
No, I think
Eh.
both both time-wise and character-wise, Nast isn't really. She has no problem dealing with people and busting heads, but if it's a choice between picking up something or having to go fight somebody, she will go pick up something.
Bearing in mind that we're busting heads to save ourselves some money.
She doesn't
We
care about
could
money.
pick through trash to save ourselves some money.
Yeah, that's never been a motivation of hers.
Plus, I'm just voting against it because it was Malkesh's idea. So.
Okay. So I will lay everything out that you know, and then in the interest of time, hopefully, you have picking through the trash. We'll get you a flyable machine, but obviously they're scavenged parts. Atlases are high quality parts, but very, very expensive.
I don't want to be in the scavenged flying machine.
That's the thing, is that Orlando, bless him, he's not exactly the most on par sort of with it in this reality sort of person anyway. So having like scavenged parts, how do we know that the parts that he had originally weren't scavenged and it crashed?
You also
We're still
do
working
know
on it.
you do know that Akbi flying machines, with the exception of their very, very large ones, have a bit of a record of
Crashing.
There's a reason why off-continent exploration through the skies is not a huge thing a lot of people look into.
Are we gonna end up in this flying machine?
Yep.
Is this
Yeah.
a thing that's gonna happen? Then
Sounds like
I
it.
kind of want nice parts for it. I call me crazy.
Well, we're just waiting on Christoph's vote,
Christoph.
man.
To make the choice.
I mean, I'll say it.
I was
I
on
don't
mute,
mind
and I
either
thought I
way,
was
just
voting the
figured
whole
it was
time.
You were on mute, and you were doing no such thing. You have to move your pod to one of the two groups. Either here.
Metagame wise, we're probably not going to crash in a fiery explosion, but our characters don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Probably.
character.
I vote head bashing.
All right. So I will leave it then up to you. Do you all decide to go together, or do you all decide to split up in some way?
I vote for together.
We can
Nothing
split
good
up
has
if
ever
we
come
do
from
it.
splitting into groups.
Could we actually pull off splitting up? Because then we could do both.
Because we've done so well before.
We've done
And
so
not
well
die.
together, too. In fact, we have an excellent record of always being awesome.
She's right. She's absolutely right.
It's like one of those signs where it's like days since last injury, but it just says days since last not being awesome.
You know what? How about this? I will give a... Since Nastasia's kind of leading the point on this, and it's kind of her thing, I will give her a scout roll
Oh, hi. There's
on one of the two locations.
So I know what's up.
Yes. I will give you an additional piece of information. So this
Oh,
would...
but then that would everybody else is going to the other spot, so the far more useful scout roll would be for the group we need to go
No.
bust up.
No. Bust up one that's the sure thing one. We know there's going to be shit going down there. The junkyard is the kind of like
Unknown.
wild card right now.
Okay then.
All right.
Because I mean, if you get there and it's just like it's a junkyard, there's a dog, there's a
There's
chomper, he's friendly.
Junk and nothing else.
Okay. I will.
The TLC program, Junkyard Wars, is there. They're
Oh,
flying
man.
machines.
I loved that show.
Yeah, that was a good show.
That was a pretty good show.
This Junkyard Wars. Let's talk
Alright.
about Junkyard Wars instead.
Gather some information. Wisdom. Wisdom if you're going out to look for things. Charisma if you're asking around.
Who would know what's in the junkyard other than Orlando? And
You can
he
ask-
doesn't even remember.
Well, you can grill Orlando, and there's definitely been scouting parties around.
Can I make an out of character question?
Yeah,
just
sure.
to the group, really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt. Considering that a flying ship is a very super useful piece of kit to have, not counting going to the Vault of the Archmage, if Malkesh willingly gave up his part of the share to Atlas for the part, would you all feel more comfortable with that? Because he has the power to say, okay, you can have my pick.
But she'll still want first pick.
In character-wise, for Gunhild at least, I think her biggest concern is not, crashing in a fire.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is Atlas has the better
she's gonna
engine
go with the
and
one
the
that's more
landing
surefire.
gear. And the better engine would get us there quicker, which allows us to potentially have a leg up on Merrick the Jerk Mage. And afterwards, we have a friggin' airship. If we have good parts and it's built well, and the only thing that's lost is my share of a magical item, which, let's be honest, Malkesh is not going to want to carry on for a long time anyway. Would anyone be against that?
Well, it's less that and more she wants first pick.
Well, I'll just tell her that she can. I'll counter offer. That's how these negotiations work.
But we can still scout the junkyard.
Yeah, we could still do that.
Scout, and there's
Okay,
nothing
I'm just
there.
saying.
All right,
Do the other thing.
just
Have
we'll get a roll, and I'll tell you.
Right, my sheet was closed for some reason. Yeah, I will do wisdom actually.
Okay,
go
wisdom,
there.
level, and background.
And for this, hi kitty, stop eating my hand. I would actually like to use City Sleuth since that is actually crawling around and climbing over shit specifically to
Junkyard
see
is
what's around.
not a natural occurrence. Give me the roll.
No.
Give me the roll.
Sorry, I managed to forget what the numbers were in that amount of time. It was that's 6, 5, so 11.
11. Wisdom mod, so
I'm just checking.
2. So 6. Yeah, 11.
Okay.
You discover that there's a lot of devices that should have gunpowder in them that have been stripped of gunpowder. There's also tracks of that you actually do recognize as small humanoid,
Huh.
lizard-like.
Yeah. Kobolds.
Hmm?
It's the kobold.
Kobold that we keep running into.
Hmm. Good to know.
It'd be funny if they turned out to be the same group that we'd have to kill.
That would be great.
Out of character, I did write 2 encounters.
Alright. Well, if that's all there is to see, then I guess I'll go back and share that information.
Alright. You have lost a little bit of the day, but not too much.
Okay. I guess I could ask Orlando what, if he knows specifically what they might be looking for with the gunpowder. Other than, just general boom.
Yeah. Well, little bastards do love things that go boom. With their jetpacks and their combustible potions. Usually it does as much damage to them, but when they stockpile, it means, well, they're usually trying to do some harm to somebody they don't like. I was that person quite a few times. Luckily, I had liquor in the Love Buster.
I know, right? Oh, wait.
Hi, kitty.
Alright, what is the choice
Blockbuster
now?
being the machine that tried to kill all of us.
Yes.
Alright, with the information that that there is probably people who don't like you waiting at the junkyard.
But neither group knows we're coming.
No. However, you have lost a little bit of time on catching up with.
Yeah. Does that change anyone's minds?
Still, I think we should kill mercenaries because Junkyard will always be there.
Yeah. And if I can counter offer Atlas, then her getting first pick. I mean, I may not be able to, but that would at least make it a lot easier to get high quality parts.
I, as a story-driven GM, do not suggest splitting the party.
Alright, I'll come along.
Carnifex will go to the junkyard by himself.
Are you still going? Because if you're still going, I will go with you.
If we
There's
need,
nothing
we can
good
split
that
the
can come
party.
from splitting up.
Okay, we're gonna go to the mercenary thing and advance this half an hour.
Like, please. We just need to do something.
We're all going to the mercenaries. No one gets a choice anymore. Yay!
Okay. I think it's this one. Okay, you come to the river that Atlas suspected they would be by. You see... Actually, somebody give me a roll for kind of like general awareness.
Just a 1d20?
Background level. Yeah, it's a background check.
Background check. Enforcer. So, background plus... 1d20 plus 5. Yep.
Alright. You successfully spot
The baddies.
2 ogres and a gnome.
Okay.
If that's not a mismatched party, I don't know what is.
Are the ogres very big?
You recognize the gnome as the man shouting at the fighting pit in the thieves' town. He is completely surrounded by what looks like a machine with horns and amplifications, and it looks like a very strange musical device. You have missed the point where they'd been eating, and kind of a little bit less aware, so they are pretty much... they are one of... I will say, Jan is keeping watch near the bridge.
Sneaky time!
But he's still not seen us yet.
They have not seen you yet,
Good.
but they are also not completely unaware.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay. So do I inform my compatriots about who's over there?
Mm-hmm.
And then